I'm done with mediocre motherhood. We don't get to behave however, our hormones dictate. We don't get to act like witches with bees and then expect our children to like us. My authentic be better. I'm just a reflection. I'm just a reflection. Hello, and welcome to the Messy Motherhood podcast. This is episode 1, kind of the introduction, and just kind of getting into why I'm doing this. First off, I am Haley Ramm. I'm a 28-year-old stay-at-home mom of 4, 5 and under, and it's been quite the journey. I didn't exactly plan to have that many kids so close together. I didn't do anything to stop it, but no, sort of. Anyway, it's crazy. This is more so my journey, and you can join in with me on things that we discover, things I'm discovering, things I'm learning. I'll be mainly sharing principles that I've learned. I want to clarify, I know this is a motherhood podcast, and I know it kind of seems strange, maybe because my oldest is only 5, soon to be 6. You could be wondering, well, what does she have to offer? Maybe not anything at all. Maybe not much. I've just had some thoughts, and I think I want to share my thoughts. And some of my thoughts may change along the way. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not coming from, I'm an expert, because I'm not. I've just, based on results I've gotten, there's some things that I found that work. When you study your own childhood and the methods and things that were used on you as a child, and you can know personally how you turned out, I think that can also be helpful in examining how you were raised and what worked and what didn't work and what were the results, and not to shame anyone, not to shame my parents or anything like that. There's good and there's bad. I think all parents make mistakes. I've made mistakes, and I am not perfect in any way. I don't want to paint myself as perfect. Ugh. No, I think we're all sick of perfection. We're all sick of looking at, oh, well, you've got this all together. But at the same time, I'm kind of sick of the complaining. I really don't appreciate the complaining, the hating on the kids, the grumbling about all the minutia. I think there's a time and a place to acknowledge that it's hard, but I don't think complaining about it, and misery loves company. So that's something I've noticed, is that a lot of the negative posts on social media get a lot of attention because that's what we naturally go for, generally. And part of that is we feel better about ourselves. I know I've fallen into this trap. I'm not shaming anyone. There is no shame here. Yeah, I just thought I would share things I've learned by trial and error. Also, just doing my own research and looking at different scientific studies. And like I said, combing over my personal experience as a child and experiencing childhood trauma. And I think if we were better educated in certain areas as mothers, that would help us to not do some of the things that we do, to think it's time to do better. I think we need to do better as mothers. And I know we've all heard the line, you're doing your best. But what if you're not? Like, I'm sure you're trying as hard as you can, but what if your best isn't good? I know that's an uncomfortable question, and it's probably going to make a lot of people mad, but I have seen how this statement of telling every single mother that she's a good mom is actually harmful. It comes well intentioned. However, if you think you're a good mom, you're not going to change. You're going to think, well, I'm doing my best and whatever happens, happens. And I've been out in the world and I see how some mothers treat their children, and it's shocking, it's horrifying, it's downright wicked. We cannot be speaking to our children hatefully all the time and then getting mad at them when they act badly. Like that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I'm kind of diving in on my topic here. I guess I don't know. I don't know what else I need to add in my introduction. We're already into the content, whatever. I have a rough plan. This is messy. Okay, I scratched this together this morning during my quiet time with my first cup of coffee. I'm having my second one. I saved it for this so I could have a little extra energy so I don't come through as a total turtle. Not having turtle energy right now. So let me get some more energy juice. I want to be the mom that doesn't need to rely on coffee for energy, but I'm not there yet. So if that's you, let me know where my homegirls are at, because, yeah, let's talk coffee. No, I'm a basic, I'll drink Aldi coffee brand because that's what I can afford right now. But I really like German coffee. I really like Caribou coffee. The Caribou brand. That and Pete's. Those are some good coffee brands. Not a sponsor. I'm not sponsored. I'm sponsored by Andromeda Coast. That is the music band and brand right here. I guess I can't sponsor myself on my own channel. That's stupid. Never mind. Messy. I told you it was messy. I'm just not going to edit a whole lot out because I think it would be better. Some stuff, maybe there's some stuff I'll edit out. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. I can chatter on. My husband knows this. Reagan knows this very well. So yeah, that's my husband, Reagan Ramm. Obviously, if you're familiar with Andromeda Coast, you know who we are. We make music together. We write novels together. We work together. Not as much right now because of certain financial things, which is difficult, but I'm actually thankful for. I go back and forth. I'm really trying to be thankful, but I have my down moments. I'm still making a habit of being thankful for the difficult things. Anyway, you just get to know me as I do my podcast. Just listen and you'll get to know me. And so, yeah, I had this idea that this could be a let's journey together. I know the motherhood journey can be really isolating, especially in the early years, because you have to decide whether or not you're going to leave your home and do all of that work to leave the house, and then you have to mentally think about all the different little schedules, all the things you're going to need, who's going to melt. You're anticipating meltdowns because those are going to happen, and it can be a lot of work. So you have to decide whether or not that's worth it or just stay home, and then that's isolating too. So it's like, what are you going to do? And then you could have people over, but I'm still working on systems to maintain a clean house. We're working on it. It's happening. It's happening. It is happening. We've consistently kept the kitchen clean this entire week, which may sound really, really like basic, but for us, like my youngest is 5 months old. So Caspian is 5 months old. All right. So I'm coming out of surviving the infant stage and I'm exclusively breastfeeding. So, that I read an article that said that's a full-time job. There's so much about what we do, like being a stay-at-home mom is like working 2 full-time jobs. Then you throw nursing on top. They say that's a full-time job. So it's like, I guess I'm working 3 full-time jobs right now. So yeah. And if you're doing, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you are working, okay? We're working, all right? We're not, unless you're not. Maybe you aren't. maybe you're having a hard time working. I've been there, okay? Listen, when you're dealing with dark mental stuff internally, it's hard to even open your eyes. It really is. It can be a battle. So I guess I could go into my little experience with having children that might be relevant to a motherhood podcast. Might be slightly. I have no idea if my personality is annoying, charming, or non-existent. Who knows? My husband likes me, so that's something. So we've established that this is messy, and I wanted to clarify that just because it's messy doesn't mean we're settling for mediocrity. I'm done with mediocre motherhood, okay? It's not helping any of us, all right? We all have our seasons. I have been through enough difficult seasons. I know what I'm talking about. We have to ask ourselves, with the whole, are we doing our best? I came across this TikTok video of this narcissist who said, here's how you know if your behavior is abusive. Look at the effects it's having on the people around you. What kind of effects are you having on the people around you? I was raised in an abusive home, so that was interesting. However, I think asking that question of how is my behavior affecting other people, that's a much needed question. In fact, just chew on that for a while. Think about that. Like, clear the decks, shut off the social media, have some quiet time, get up early or stay up a little later. I don't care how you have to put on the TV and go sit somewhere and think to yourself. Think about the last time you interacted with your child. Think about that. And think about how you reacted to whatever it was. Say your child, I'll give you an example. Here's something that, real example here. This happens all the time. Okay. When my oldest Asher was 3, this was just like 3 weeks ago. So I'll have it managed, and then I'll go through a little season and get, lazy and not watch my reactions. Your reactions are so pivotal. They're so important. So whenever one of them would spill water, I would make really loud noises. I go, oh, or oh my gosh. And when Asher was 3, he started doing that. And I was like, oh, where is he picking that up from? Because I wasn't aware of what was going on, right? That's how stupid that was. And then Halo, who is now, she was like 15 months at the time. 18 months. She was going, gosh. And I was like, where did she learn that? And it was me. They're sponges at this age, and they are looking at us. My kids are looking at me to know how to react to certain situations. So if your child is exhibiting some behavior that you don't like, examine yourself to make sure you're not the one modeling the same behavior, because it might be coming from you. Not always, but if your children are spending a significant amount of time around you, even if they're not, they're still looking at you, they're still paying attention to how you respond, and they're learning, oh, so this is how we respond to this kind of situation. Okay. And I was like, this isn't pleasant to hear. And then I realized they were getting it from me, and I did not like that. Children are great mirrors. They're beautiful. It is really wonderful. And I love how in scripture, yes, I guess I should have led with that one. I'm also a Christian. I'm just a disciple of Christ. I don't subscribe to any denomination, so don't ask me. And no, I'm not non-denominational either. So I can't remember, is it 1 Timothy, 1 of Titus, somewhere, one of Paul's letters talks about how women will be saved through childbirth. And that's sanctified. They'll be sanctified through childbirth. And it's child raising. And there's probably other applications to that I don't know about. But that's the one where if you pay attention to your behavior, to your reactions, your responses, your moods, ladies, the moods, they're important. I'm sorry to tell you this, but we don't get to act like witches with bees and then expect our children to like us or our spouses to like us. We don't get to behave however, our hormones dictate. Okay, I'm gonna step on a lot of toes right now, but you don't have to be, we're not supposed to be mastered by anything except God. So I'll come back to that one another day. Anyway, yeah, ask yourself, think about the last interaction you had with your kid. Was it positive? If it was positive, analyze it. Ask yourself, what did they say? How did I respond? What did they do? How did they react? Did they walk away with slumped shoulders and just not talk to you the rest of the day? Or did they have a meltdown later on in the day and you just could not figure out why? Or were they happy and they went and were kind to someone else? It might have been because of you. It could have been because of you. And I know we don't want this responsibility, but if you have children, you are responsible, especially at the little age. I'm mostly speaking to mothers of littles, okay? If you've got teens, I'm not there yet. Maybe this applies to, I think this could apply to any mother, it's just a basic question. How is my behavior affecting my children? How are my reactions affecting my children? How are my emotions affecting my children? Yeah, I want to be better as a mother, and we need to strive to be better, and we need to count the cost. Count the cost, okay? Our motherhood, us as mothers, we affect our children for the rest of their lives. Okay, had to deal with the screaming. They're all good. They apologized. We need to do better. We need to stop accepting this low bar that we've allowed for motherhood. And there's a movement. There's a movement happening of women waking up and realizing they want to do better. So this is beautiful. This is good. Going back to what I said before, there are too many women, there are too many mothers who have gotten away with destructive behavior because they were told over and over that they were a good mom and they were just doing their best. But no one stopped to ask Is my best actually good? Is my best actually great? Whatever we do in word or deed, do it all for the glory of God. That is what we should be doing all of this for. It's not because we want people to like us. We should just do it for the glory of God. And there's a child playing a tambourine, and I don't know if you'll hear it or not, but messy. So what do I mean by messy? I mean messy as in, let's not hide the hard parts, but let's not stay down all the time. Let's be authentic. My hope and my desire is to let my authentic be better. Let my authentic not be down in the dumps all the time, depressed all the time. I don't want that to be my authentic. That's not who I want to be. If that is where you're at, don't hear what I'm saying and then think that I'm attacking you or shaming you. None of that. No. If you're in a bad place, ask yourself this question. It's very simple. Why? Why am I here? What happened that led me here? Is this a choice I'm making? Am I living selfishly? Or do I have a reason? My husband says that emotions, they're not necessarily good or bad per se. It's neutral. They're signals. They're just guideposts. They're signals, they're signs telling us which direction to look in so that we know there is a problem, or maybe there's not a problem. Maybe it's a positive emotion and it's good. And, you want to look at why is this making me happy? You still got to examine that too. So examine everything. And having self-awareness as a mother is a good asset to have. It's a good skill. It takes practice to be self-aware, to pay attention to what you are doing, to how you are feeling, because a lot of us don't want to pay attention. I state it right here. I've numbed myself out a lot because I was dealing with trauma that I don't know how to deal with it. I didn't know. Had coping mechanisms. I got married and had many coping mechanisms and didn't understand what they were stemming from, didn't understand a whole lot about that. But a lot of us are numbing out. We're zoning out, especially at the end of the day. I'm just as guilty as this. So I'm not shaming. I am not, I'm gonna have to say this all the time. I'm not shaming anyone. And if you feel shame about something, again, just ask yourself why. Journal it. Dig deep. Know yourself. Know yourself so you can know how to be better. If you believe in God, if you're a believer, ask God to show you, to bring to mind something you need to change. We all, until we die, we're all going to need to change. We're not going to remain we shouldn't remain. We're either going to get better or we're going to get worse. That's just how it is. If you're intentional about getting better, great. If you do nothing, you will get worse. That's just that's just a fact of life. You just, things don't naturally upgrade. They degrade over time, especially if a plant is left unattended. If a child is left unattended, bad things can happen. They can make destructive messes. I wouldn't know anything about that. That would be my call to action today for you. Two things. Well, let's just do one. Let's just do one today. Or you can write down the questions. I don't know. I don't know if this is helpful for you or if this is just angering you. If it's angering you, I'm going to say, ask yourself, why? Why is this making me angry? Instead of focusing on the anger, understand there's a reason behind it. I could be pushing a button, but why am I pushing that button? Why is this angering you? Or if it's making you happy, I want to know, why is this making you happy? Or making you irritated, making you sad. Just answer the question. Or you don't have to, and you can just, be angry. That's up to you. But we need to acknowledge messy motherhood. We're acknowledging that we need to do better. I need to do better. And I'm just bringing you on my journey. I would love to find the ladies out there who are the mamas who are struggling, who are looking for someone to speak honestly to them and to be truthful, forthright, frank and beans.
Frank and beans.
Frank with them, and just pointing out in a loving way. I say all of this with love. Like, sometimes I'll say stuff and no one says anything, and then I'll know like later it was wrong, and I'm like, why didn't someone say anything? Like, maybe I wouldn't have listened, but maybe I would have. Like, whenever my husband has corrected me, I listen. Oh boy, do I listen. Yeah. I listen. So he's never wrong. He's never wrong. So yeah, I'm looking for the other ladies, the other mamas who are wanting to do better. They like that, the hard truths. I'm not necessarily great at sugarcoating things. I'm working on being gentler with how I deliver truths. But to some extent, I think time has passed for the flowery language. The flowery language has got to go. We need to stop having the niceties and sugarcoating these hard truths, because we're only focusing on the sugar and not on the hard truth. And again, I ask you, count the cost. Count the cost. Their little lives, your own life, your mental well-being could be at stake as well. Because if you continue doing things that make you feel yuck, it's just going to make you feel worse. I know. It's hard to hear sometimes. But we shouldn't stay where we are. And wherever you are, know that there is love. There's love, there's grace. And we need to understand what love is. Love is willing the good of another person, wanting what's best for another human being. Willing the good. Anytime you do something, you can ask, is this loving? Am I actually doing this out of love? If you're not, maybe you need to stop doing it and reevaluate and figure out how to do it in love. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I still raise my voice. I am not proud to admit that. I am not happy about that. I don't want to be like this. I want to change. I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to be a mama that provides love, true love. The only way you can have true love is through Christ. So, I thank you for listening. I'm going to stop here. I need to look at my notes real quick. I think this went long enough. If you liked this podcast, this is the first one, so no one may listen to this, and that's okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's a start. Like it. 5-star it on, I think you can only 5-star thing. Oh, I think you could 5-star on Spotify. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Yeah, share it. Whether you love it or you hate it, share it. I'm here for all of it. And I hope something in here was helpful to you. I hope this more so that this was encouraging. I know some of what I said is probably challenging, and that's okay. That's okay. Maybe these hard truths are already being spoken about, and I just haven't heard them yet. So, hey, they could be already spoken. But sometimes we need to hear something 1,000 times before it sinks into our brains and our hearts. So, thank you for listening. And I'm going to attempt to do this as a weekly thing, either weekly or every other week. I'm not sure yet, but at least once a month. So there will be podcast episode at least once a month. We'll see how well this goes. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching if you're watching this on YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Not sure what that one's going to be about yet, but we'll get there. And you have a blessed day.